Well, after 200 reviews, I can officially say that I've hit burnout, to the point where I was thinking about quitting. Yeah, back in March, I was planning the Bubsy Revisit to be the very last review before calling it quits. The major factor of me wanting to quit was because I work 40 hours a week, 10-hour days, Monday through Thursday. The only thing I'm going to tell you is that I work at a computer and I fix things that go wrong. When I come home, I sleep, I get up, and I work on the review that's going to be posted on the weekend, and when that's posted, I go to work on the next review, and the cycle repeats. Any and all free time is dedicated to this channel. I can't even play games that I want to play, and the ones that I do end up being reviews, so I really can't enjoy them. I want to play Skylanders for myself, but the only way for me to do that would be to review it, meaning I can't shut my brain off and enjoy it. I want to play Smash Brothers more, but I don't have the time for it. I want to go back to World of Warcraft, but I don't have the time for it. Time is the enemy here, and you may think, why not take a break? Because that can be the death of a YouTube channel. I take some time off, and who knows what that would do to my audience retention, because I'm not some big named reviewer who can do this full time and therefore include more things like live streams and let's plays and other things. So here are the changes that I'm going to implement so I don't call it quits and keep this channel going. 1. Reviews are going to be on a bi-weekly schedule. It gives me time to play other games and relax, and gives me more time to work on the review. In place of a regular review, there will be an editorial type called the Retro Report that will fill the gaps. Think of it like the Jimquisition, where I give my thoughts and opinions on something. I'm pretty much giving a name to the series of rants and opinion piece editorial videos that I've done in the past and giving it a schedule. For me, these are actually quite easy to do, so they're not going to take up that much time. Pretty much almost none when I think about it. Secondly, I would like to start a Patreon, and I could already hear your groans and sighs, but I'm not going to withhold any type of content. I'm not going to make anything Patreon exclusive, at least not yet since I can't think of anything, but I would update you guys well in advance. But think of the Patreon as an optional tip jar, and that's it. The goal of the Patreon is to try and bring more content and dedicate my full time to the channel, because right now, I can't and it's wearing me out. The Patreon is per month, not per work, and I would initiate a Patreon payment on the first of every month. I'm just going to give you guys a rundown of what I have planned. Nothing's official, nothing's going to launch yet, and when it does, you'll be notified. The first milestone is at $2.50 a month, and that's where I'd like to review more recent games as they come out. Because let's face it, a review of a retro game really only gets attention if it's famous or infamous. And I get asked a lot about new games that came out or are coming out, and usually you don't see a review on said game until much later down the line. I'm not going to abandon reviewing retro games though. You'll still see them, and this milestone will also help get those games as well, since some of them don't have a digital re-release and are expensive due to rarity. The next milestone is at 500, and that's for better equipment and keeping hardware up to date. I'd like to get some studio lights for better lighting so I'm not relying on the sun. Also, storage is a big problem. After I review a game, the captured game footage is erased, meaning I can't go back to reference it if I need to. Like when I reference a previously reviewed game, or if I go to make a top 10, or if something cool or funny happens. Because it's all lost, and because I don't have the means to store it all. It also lets me get capture devices for older systems, because the one that I have right now only has an HDMI port on it. The $1,000 goal would bring in a new bi-weekly series called the Retro Reaction, and that's where it's a first impressions video which will complement the Retro Report. The reaction will be on the Friday before the report. The $3,000 goal, I don't have a 2001 yet, and I haven't thought of one, but the $3,000 will allow me to dedicate all my time to the channel, and with that I'll bring in a new series called The Backlog, which will appear once a month. It's basically a series where I would review a group of games that are rather simplistic, as an entire review for them would be too short and it wouldn't be worth the time. At 4,000, the reviews will return to their usual Saturday schedule. At 5,000, all reviews will be ad-free unless YouTube Content ID bot hits it. And 6,000, the Retro Report will go weekly. The last couple may get swapped around, but those are the goals I have set up so far. Keep in mind, I have not launched it yet, but I'm bringing this up just to get a feel of what the reaction would be, since I think disclosure is important, and if you have any suggestions for the Patreon, you can leave a comment below. The $250 and $500 are my more realistic goals, and anything above that is more along the lines of wishful thinking. If by some miracle of chance I hit the 3,000 goal, any goals above that will be touch and go at the start, because like I said, it's a matter of time versus what I want to do. But those are the changes that I'm planning, and we'll see how it goes from there.